Squeaky chair, typical. Hey, so I'm London Julie, and a few people know me like that for things I post, but also for the books on Tanya. Thing is, there's nothing special about me, but people ask me why I did the books. There's 5 of them. Why me? Why not? Did you get permission? Do you actually need permission to do a book on somebody? No. But did I say about what I was going to be doing? Did I offer 50%? I think at one time I even said 75% to you, 25 to me. It wasn't about making money. It wasn't about being ultra successful in something. When I started the idea, it was COVID, and I knew we were coming up for Tanya's 50 years in country music, and what an achievement. I mean, to grasp that, starting at 13 and still be there 50 years later, it's incredible. It's not, nobody else has done that. And I just thought I'd do one book and give it to her as a present. Just like, this is your life thing, here you go. You're loved, you're appreciated, you know, and don't ever forget that. You've been there 50 years for the fans, and I just think you're incredible. That was what the first book was all about. And then it was about people always asking about certain lyrics, certain songs, and what they haven't heard, so I couldn't fit everything in the first book. I actually had to cut it down by a couple of 100 pages for purposes of printing, and I still couldn't get it put in a hardback. And so I thought I'd do the song lyric book after that, because there's songs that she's written, songs that she's been involved with, songs that she's performed that she hasn't recorded, things that need to be recorded that she's sung. And I thought, if I can paint some pictures, draw some pictures, and get pictures that would match the songs, and listening to old cassette tapes with my ear to them, and then saying, what was that line you sang there? What was that? And then original lyrics, it was like, no, that's not what she's singing. She's done her own thing on that, and why not? She always makes them sound good anyway. I mean, Shirley from Tanya Tucker People Only, she said, you know, she could sing the phone directory and it would sound good. As you're right. I mean, I used to say like cereal boxes, you know, she could say anything you like and you'd go, yeah, goosebumps. And then after that, I thought, right, okay, people were asking, and I'd done a bit of the discography, but not all of it, and TV appearances, film appearances on TV, appearances. And so that came next, and then the next book was Tanya Tucker, celebrating 50 years of country music in 100 paintings, because I'd done a fair few paintings, but I still had to do some more to get that right. And that book goes from her start to recently. And then it was like quotes. We got to have 100 pages, and it's like, oh, she's done an awful lot of quotes. She's done an awful lot of things, and there's, I mean, some lyrics as well. Yeah, so I handed them all over. But while I was doing it, Shirley had said, look, I'm going to want one of those. I know other people are going to want some of those. And I'm like, but it's really for Tanya. And, well, you can't do it. Bearing in mind, Shirley had sat with me for a lot of hours through the tears when pages got lost and the iPad broke and I hadn't got the PC and this didn't work and then whole files went missing and pages. And then I was sitting there and trying to get it all together and trying to make, what do I put in, what do I leave out, what do I say? I just wanted to praise her, not because I just think she's just phenomenal in what she's achieved and what she's gone through, and so many just want to put her down, and she deserves, for goodness sake, Country Music Hall of Fame induction. She should have had it a while ago, but especially now, 50 years, and I want to get her the plaque in the Walk of Fame Park. I'd really like to get that together for her. If I could just hold her up like that and go, look, she's just incredible. And it's always like, people say things and I'm like, people say things on pages and I can't keep quiet because I'm just, who do you think you are? You get up there and do that. You do all that. And, it went on and on about the pink hair. Just listen to what she says about it and why she did it, Shirley, for cancer. And for goodness sake, you pull her down for all. I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? Whoever is up there gets pulled down. And I mean, this one, I've got stuff on this because I had to take it out and show people. But it goes right through. It's all through. It goes through concerts and from the start of the day to the end of the day. It's got things for her children in there. It's got things that she's done, and on a lot of pages are my paintings as well. Layla and Presley, they're just incredible kids, and I like the fun of Tanya. The serious, when is she not beautiful? For goodness sake, I'm going to say that a lot, aren't I? For goodness sake, listen to me. Get it in your head. She's achieved more than any other person out there. Her voice is incredible. Yes, of course, it's changed over the years. People say, oh, she still sounds the same. When was the last time you listened to her? But every time she comes out with a new song or steps out on that stage, you just go, wow, just incredible. I mean, my first show I went to was Vegas. 2017 is the first time I'd actually seen her live on stage, and what an experience. I mean, the thing was, I've been talking to Geraldine James, and this is where the London Julie came from, because they were going to put tickets to one side for me, and it was name, oh right, okay, well, London Julie. So London Julie stuck, and that's it, and it's always London Julie. But Vegas, she came out on that stage, and to say that I was over 50 then, and I'd not seen her live, and I'd always wanted to, but life goes along, I had children to look after and feed and get through school and college, and I was working in teaching, in sports and coaching, and I, even through the school holidays I was working, and to give them what they needed to have, the life I hadn't had, and but when I actually got to go, and my son's like, we can't, how can you can't go there, you can't go by yourself, you can't, and to say you take a plane journey like that, and I arrived in Vegas, and at the heat, I'd come from rainy London, well, rainy Cornwall, rainy London, the train, on the plane, and everything that could have gone wrong for me went wrong to get there. But I stepped out of that Vegas airport, and it was, for me, it was like 1 in the morning. And of course, it wasn't, it was like the afternoon. And I went to the hotel and went to register in, and no, you're in the VIP. You're over there. But Tanya, you know, it stepped out on that stage, and I just got goosebumps. And to say she changed my whole being, my whole life, would be an understatement. Yeah. So, okay. The last thing we've got to is 50 years at the Ryman, and yeah, I got the flowers that went out on stage and the white crowned sparrow, and she wasn't doing Bust Down Rig, she sang White Crowned Sparrow. Sorry, White Crowned Sparrow from Wheels of Laredo. She said, you know, my friends here, and she said, Jay, there I was, and you know, that's the end shot from there. And you know what? The guitar strap is an absolute replica of hers, except where hers has got T, mine's got J on it. And my latest acquisition, I would say, is this, and it's getting framed. Of course, it's getting framed in its way, but this is something that Soundwaves Art did with Tanya. I signed Ukrainian refugees, and you know, I've done a lot of paintings. I do other artwork, and I make, squeaky chair goes again, art boxes and things. You know, Tanya, bring my flowers now with the piano and sheet music, and I did a box for Layla, which is Merle Haggard, and an Elvis box for Tanya. But I do lots of other things as well. I'm recently involved with an art collective in Cornwall in the UK, which is where my boys live, where the youngest was born. So yeah, the song lyric, I mean, it's a big book. See the size of that, and it has got as much as I could possibly get up to date. And obviously there's a new album coming out and other songs, and it'll all have to go in there, won't it? But you know, I was really pleased with the way it turned out with the paintings in it. And celebrating 50 years, 100 paintings from the beginning. But yeah, I'm quite proud of this, and I mean, it goes on. So, I mean, yeah, sure, it's got like this, and then it's got, I couldn't get there, it's a bit cheap because it's not all Tanya, obviously. That's 2 sparrows and a hurricane, and Tanya boots, and a copy of a card, and then I've got the other books I've done, some of the other books I've done, and my tattoo. As Elle said, you know, we must be the only two because it's a Algae tattoo. And Tanya on a horse. That's on my leg, actually. You can see my leg. Oh. And this is the other one. I've got Strong Enough to Bend, 2 Grammys, and my boys, they know it's the family tree, and 2 boys, the Delta Dawn, Ryman, the date. But you know what I mean, I've got Delta Dawn tattoo on my foot. This is a lot of different things. It's the stamp from the first show I went to. Tea Rose, daisy, teal rose, tulip, Tanya Tucker. But all the colours on here, they're all initially from my friends and my family and things like that. Yeah, I've got, while I'm living on my back, I've got totally brand and a few other bits and pieces. And it just, how can I express that? It's a deep love, sure, but I'm in admiration and paving paths. We've both been through a lot. We've both brought up children mostly alone. She had good parents, family with her. I was sort of in between. My parents split up and had other families, and my dad actually said to me, it's my 50th birthday and my stepsister forced them into sort of said, we've never done a birthday for Julie, we should really do one. And my dad said to me, he'd decorate the cake for me, he was really proud of that, but he said, you know, you've always been in between her parents, haven't you? You weren't really wanted by either one. Well, thanks. I don't know how you do a comeback from that. Quotes, there'd be a quote in here, wouldn't there? I've got no filter, it just comes out. There you go. Yeah, just about. I can be a bit like that. But how did it start? Hey, Tanya. Yeah, Delta Dawn. I mean, I was so young. And my dad was a big Johnny Cash fan. My stepmother was an Elvis fan. My stepfather was an Elvis fan. My mum liked Elvis and English people. But my dad had a pub and he just said, Julie, listen to this. Come and listen to this. This girl, she's 13. She's only 13. You know, when she did Delta Dawn at 13, she's like 15 now. She's only 15 years old, he said. Listen. And he turned the radio right up. And I'd been helping him bottle up in the morning, you know, sorting out the pub, doing a bit of cleaning for him, walking the dogs. And he turned the music right up. I mean, he used to listen to the Bellamy Brothers, if I said you heard them, you know. Yeah, that's the thing we haven't got in common. I can't sing, or one bit of it. Learning piano through COVID. Big my flowers now, mostly, with a bit of help. And got a bit of guitar playing. But yeah, he turned the song up and he said, listen, I had to be quiet, not say anything at all. He said, what do you think of that, Delta Dawn? I said, I don't like it. He said, what? I said, I just don't like it. It's horrible. I said, it reminds me of the people that live near my grandparents, friends of them. You know, the old women who lost their husbands in the war. And they walk around and they're all sad. And Nana will say, oh, don't you mind Mrs. So-and-so, you know, she lost her husband in the war. Or don't mind Mrs. So-and-so, she lost her sons in the war. And that's what it reminded me of, this broken-hearted woman just pining for her lost husband. But yeah, Tanya Tucker, okay, it's a good voice, don't like it. Didn't think, you know, I'm a child, and there was a lot of other music, I suppose, I listened to. And then my stepmother and my stepsister used to go out a lot shopping, and I'd get left with the dog, and I was fine. I'd just sit in the bedroom with the dog, and I wasn't allowed to touch any of my stepsister's things. You know, she had a whole collection of Starsky and Hutch, Barnett Man. So that shows the age, doesn't it? Anyway, I was with the dog sitting on the floor of the bedroom, and my dad came in and said, oh, where's your sister? I said, oh, she's gone shopping with Joan. Oh, you didn't want to go? Shopping not your thing? And he pats me on the head. No, I didn't get invited. But anyway, he says, oh, when Barbara gets back, give her this record. And he put it on the bed. I'm sitting there going, because if Barbara wasn't about in the jukebox man bin, I would get the records from him that she always got. And I was sort of looking at this record. Tanya Tucker. It was that one. That one there. Anyway, I picked it up and I thought, oh, my kind of girl, you know, jeans and stuff. That was me. I was such a tomboy. And I thought, oh, right, okay. Although I wouldn't have worn a shirt with the flowers, no way. But he, you know, and I've picked up the record, and when I opened it and I put it on play, and I was going through it going, no, and skipping it across. And then it was, when will I be loved? I've been cheated, been mistreated, Wait, yeah, well, I told you I can't sing, but that one, I thought, oh, I like that. And then it was San Antonio Stroll, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. And then I thought, King of the Road, oh, that's sad. But then it was, I'm not Lisa, my name is Tanya. And I was like, oh, and I had a crush on the barman at the time, and so I used to sing out the window, my name's not Mandy, my eyes are not you know, and Jessie Coulter, of course, she was in the charts, and I'm not Lisa, my name is Julie. Oh, whoa, Tanya and Julie roll. I took that record and I put it in the bottom of my suitcase to take home with me, and I got some other records and put them on the bed. So when Barbara came home, I said, oh, Dad left you records. She went, oh, yeah. Because she was so used to getting everything. And I went home with that one. And I kept playing it. My friends were like, why are you playing that? What's that? But they were into AC/DC, Kiss, Meatloaf, Motorhead, everything I wasn't. And then we'd have a day, say at Mandy's or something, everyone bring a record. No, I wasn't allowed to bring that. I mean, even when I was staying at hers a few years back and doing a painting upstairs, do we have to keep listening to that? I wish she'd put herself on that tree. I'm not going to carry on painting if you're going to doss Tanya, thanks very much. And yeah, I'm quite outspoken about her, about the tea. So you're getting it, yeah. I've just listened to her through the years. When things were difficult, you couldn't get hold of things, and I mean, at one time, my ex-husband, because I was mug enough to get married, but I want, children, fell in love. But I fall in love at the drop of a hat. Yeah, somebody says, oh, let me buy you a drink, and later, and then they're like, I love you. I fall for it every time. One day I won't. One day I'll be strong. But I tend to be strong enough to bend. So these books, it was just to say, Tanya's incredible. Her voice is just, you've only got to hear the first bit of her voice coming out in the beginning of a word, and it's Tanya. There's no one ever could do what she does. And I said that quite a lot. And Layla said, she was saying she was going to do Wheels on the Radar. And I was like, no, Layla, no, only your mum can, no. And Layla did it. And she was just fantastic. And I actually said, I was going, no. And then you sang it, girl. And you were really good. You're the only other person that can sing that song. And probably you're the only one who can sing anything your mother sings. I love Presley. Presley's got this blues voice, really. The Grayson's got a good voice, but Presley's got a blues voice, and she's always behind her mother, but she's got that voice and she's good. And yeah, Layla, all her stuff is so good. I'm like, I'll be long gone. Her mother'll be long gone. She's gonna be going out there, and I can see her being there where her mum is 50 years down the line, and I'm sorry I won't see it. And I love Fiery Red, Presley. I've said to Presley often enough, I treat you the same way as I treat my boys. I would always look out for you guys. I love you to pieces, and I don't have a difference, and my boys are really cross about it, and they get really wound up about it. How can you real blood? Sorry, Tanya's been there through the years with me. Good parts of life, bad parts of life. She's had her battles, and there have been times over the years all I've wanted to do is just hug her, just give her a hug. You're going to be okay, or I think you're amazing, you're incredible, don't give up, we've got you, the fans, I've got you, and that's the way it'll always be. So that's why I've done it, that's why I did it. They were from the heart, and I do say that, and for the love of Tanya. What a woman, in so many ways, and her heart, people just don't crush that heart of hers. They always look for the moments, the bad times, the things that she's done and people say we shouldn't have done that. Well, look in the mirror, people, look in the mirror. If your life's perfect, if you've never done anything wrong, if your children have always been nothing but perfect, but don't call her out on anything. She deserves more than that. She deserves our everything. And what can I say? Tanya Tucker. I haven't got my hat on to say I salute you. I really do. So, yeah. Love the books. Love the woman. And support her kids in everything they do. She's done a good job. She's done a really good job. That's it.